Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We wanted to share a fun synchronicity with you today, and Ellen will tell you more about it. But basically, at one point, when Ellen and I had to relaunch the game, I suddenly had this intuition or download that said, "You're going to work with time bending." And I was doing my makeup, and I was like, "Time bending? Oh, that's a very interesting word because it's not a word I normally use." And it was very clear, time bending. And I even wrote it down in a Google document. I sent it to Ellen, and then Ellen said, "Oh my God, I actually had a synchronicity with that, with time bending." And I was like, "What?" That was in the WhatsApp. I was like, What is a synchronicity?" And so Ellen, tell us about.
Yeah, first of all, like time bending. My daughter watches a show called The Last Avatar, about an airbender. So then we would play around, and I wouldn't be air bending, fire bending, or water bending, or earth bending. I would be the time bender. So that was the game we'd been playing those few weeks. And then the Sunday before Angelique told me about time bending, I had drawn that card, the time master card. I always called him the time bender because that's just, to me, that was just, he's the time bender.
Yes. So basically, we can read it out loud, but we had a second synchronicity with time bending today, which is even more like it gave us goosebumps. So, and I just wanted to point out that synchronicity to me is like a sign that you're on a specific wavelength. And there are many levels of mastery of basically taking ownership of that we are commanding matter. And time, or the illusion of time, is one of the biggest hurdles in people's lives. Imagine that we're always identifying with the past, and we project the past into the now and the future, because we cannot see that time is actually, you can actually change time, the concept of time, and that when you do that, you can actually affect the past, future, and present moment in the present now. And but let's just stick to this time master card, which we saw as a very important sign to work with time, which is actually something that we work with in our games. So Ellen, if you could maybe read this, and because it was your card.
So the essence, time is a construct of the human mind through which life events are seen to flow in a straight line from past to future. Anyone knows the Dr. Joe retreat, it's that line he draws on the board. This, however, is an illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel and others moving straight as an arrow. Humans see time like a ticking clock, and this image reminds us that there's only so much of it to spend in a life, like a kind of currency. At any moment, you can see time in all its infinite potential, at once vast and all-encompassing, then shrunken and finite. It all depends on perspective.
So basically, Dr. Joe is, I think, the first one that made us aware that we see time as linear. So like this: past, now, future. And actually, but what happens is that we're always projecting the past onto the now, the now, the now, the now, the now, the now. So because we keep thinking, oh, this is my money situation, this is my love life situation, this is like the way the world works. And then we basically create what Dr. Joe calls karma, which is a law of cause and effect, because we keep on believing the things about time. And actually what other teachers are telling us now is time is not linear. All time is happening now. If you know the movie Interstellar, you see there's a scene where he sees all these different dimensions of time. From a higher perspective, I think he's out of his body, from a higher consciousness, he's seeing all these perspectives of time, and every one of them would have been a potential to his life. And so when you see time as all happening now, so future, past, present is happening in one moment, and you can look through it, you can actually decide and determine one thing to happen, and it would change the whole time. It would change the past, and it would change the future. So in changing the past, of course, is a crazy concept, but actually there are scientific experiments that have been done with it. And if you're in one of our games, we will give you the resource to these scientific experiments. You can look it up yourself. But I think it is more fun to actually experiment with this in your own life, right? Because that's what we're here to do. So what is the invitation then, Ellen?
When the time master visits you, he asks the most important question. Will you break free from limited cause and effect thinking by moving beyond the linear illusion and welcoming the cyclic quality of time? You find yourself in a moment when the wheel of time turns and you're able to influence the past, thus changing the present and future simultaneously. This is the true test of the time master. You're being invited to take back your power, so let go of the past and choose to step into your life. In this moment, you are all powerful. You are the time master. Anything is possible now.
And those of you who've done the Dr. Joe work, or who even study, other teachers who are more scientific, but even Abraham Hicks talks about this linear time concept. It's really about us no longer seeing time as this line, but seeing time as all happening now. So if you could basically go into the future, so-called future, Dr. Joe calls it future, present, now. You go to the future and you decide this has already happened, and your whole life going unfolding towards the future will change because you made that, you observed it into being, and then everything has to fall into place to become that. You understand? So this is really, because this text is more still talking about the past, because the past is so our reference point. It is so shaping who we believe we are. And if we could just work with the future, which is what we do in the time bending alignment skill in our games, things will shift, yeah? But today, something so amazing happened, and Ellen will tell us more about it, but this was like goosebumps, and Ellen is also going to sing us a song, but Ellen, tell us the synchronicity. We were just chatting today.
Last night that it happened. This little book, my daughter chose it from the bookshelf for me to.
Amazing, your daughter's like an angel telling Mama.
Yeah.
Big message.
So I kind of like this book because then we sing songs rather than read. So sometimes it's fun. And so it's a fun book. It's from the MoMA, and then they have little paintings, and then they rewrite a children's song, change the lyrics based on the painting. So then, of course, I'll sing it. So I like this song the most because it's a funny lyrics. I'm not going to sing the whole song. I'm just going to sing the part where when I had that flash of insight. Oh my dolly, oh my dolly, oh my dolly Salvador. Time is bending, thought appending in your art forevermore. So then I was like, oh my gosh, time bending. And then today Angelique was reading the last few paragraphs because Sally and I usually don't make it through the whole song. It's usually the first few paragraphs. And then the sentence in the second on the right, the second from the bottom paragraph, you give up reality and with clever, bold endeavor, show a different world to me. We thought that was a really cool one.
So yeah, I still get goosebumps. So basically, synchronicity is something that you could not have caused. It's like Jung calls that an acausal event. So basically, Ellen and I could not have made this happen, but it did happen. And it has a deep meaning for me and Ellen, because Ellen and I, ever since I got the download on the beach that I was going to create a game, I had a series of synchronicities about how to work with the game, who to work with, and how certain people would come to me. Like our developer came to us without me doing anything, because basically I knew that I didn't have to do anything, just the insights would flow. And so this time bending concept, although Dr. Joe does a lot of work with the future self walking meditations, and in our game we play with the flamingo, who represents source self or the whole self. It's still such a great beautiful affirmation that time, the way that we are working with it now in our human form, is based on not a complete understanding of how we can impact time. And so look at such odd cues they can amuse, bring to mind fresh points of view. Some are quaint and others ain't, but caught in paint is something new. We can create new things, and they might be mind-boggling. They might challenge our our preconceptions, and we might feel uncomfortable with it. But those of you who have seen and witnessed the miracles in the Dr. Joe walking meditations, where people sometimes they come out of a walking meditation and they're healed because they were one with the future time. There was no future. The future was now. And the future present now is all already here. This is why we created a receiving game, because we said, why are we always pushing the future to tomorrow or the next moment? And if we have to catch up with the person that is in vibrational alignment with that amazing future, we have to be it now. We can no longer push it to the future. So the future has to be now. And this is all about us embodying, and through the embodiment, see a new reality. And I love the word clever, bold, endeavor. Clever, bold, endeavor. Bold means that you don't dump down your expectations about who you could be and what reality could look like. And one of the amazing Neville Goddard teachers that we follow, she's an amazing woman called Candace Todd. She talks about bold, be bold. And actually, it was really like, okay, yeah, be bold, because sometimes, even when you think about, oh, I'm going to manifest this, oh, maybe this is enough. Maybe this is enough. Like me in my love life, I was just hoping that it wasn't like that I would attract a decent man that we wouldn't create so much suffering. That was, for me, was like, oh, it was already feeling really great. But now I created like an amazing match on many levels. So, and why wouldn't we be able to do that for our health, for our wealth, for our world, for our children, and for ourselves? So show a different world to me. Show a different world to me when you're time bending. It's thought of ending in your art forevermore. We're always working with time. Even if you don't think you're working with time, you have, when you're not in the present moment, you're in the program, Dr. Joe's teaching. And in the program, you're going to be projecting the past, a construct of your old beliefs and your old self, limited self, onto the now. So yeah, this is an amazing.
Something about I heard Dr. Joe say this week about synchronicities, because for some people, maybe all these small synchronicities, you're just like, what are they on about? What is, I don't really care. But Dr. Joe said something like, to me, those small synchronicities, those signs from the universe that I'm on the right path, are even more welcome, and I'm more excited about than actually the manifestation or the big stuff, because that's just little breadcrumbs you're getting throughout your day, every single day, to showing you beautiful messages that you're on the right path. So I just wanted to add that, so that yeah.
This is not a breadcrumb. When Ellen told me about this, this synchronicity, we both were like, oh my gosh, I still have goosebumps. It's like, because we're not making this up. This is really happening to us. This is our life. And this is the life of the players in our game. They start creating they start experiencing a flood of synchronicities, like almost on a daily basis. And because of the synchronicities, they feel so supported and so connected to the divine. And some people want the mystical in a meditation, but what about the mystical in your life, in your 3D life, because because the 3D world is showing you how you change from the inside. Yeah. And so this is what we do in our games. We just create fun things together in a community. And click on the link below to actually, really find out more. We also have an affiliate scheme, but basically, literally, if you should join one of our games just to find out what's going on. If you feel it resonates with you, and if you're free, if you're like suddenly thinking, I want to break free from, myself, you can see we have 8 alignment skills. Time bending is one of them. And we were guided now to really go into time bending. But there are so many other fun things that we're going to work with. So thank you for listening to this. Okay, lots of love.
Lots of love. Bye.